tuning in today to take a look at a wonderful product called GreenSlope. GreenSlope has been introduced as a great alternative for post-application of ponding water concerns. This environmentally friendly, lightweight material can be shaped into a variety of formations to be able to help push, eliminate, and get rid of water that has been standing on a wide variety of roofing systems. In this short video, we're going to describe the process of installation, some steps that we go through, as well as showcasing the products and its ability to be formed in a variety of different materials. As we're going through this, I'm going to have my partner, I'm Tom, and Dallas is going to come in here in a little bit and help me while I go through this process. So you'll see an additional buddy of mine coming in to help. So in the GreenSlope bucket, we're going to start here. We're going to start with removing the pail lid. And inside, we're going to find many of the things that we're going to talk about in this video in the actual application instructions contained within the bucket. Additionally to the application instructions, you are going to find a brush, which we will talk about priming and the use of the urethane that helps bond all this stuff together. And that is also a tool that's included. I am already gloved up. I also have my personal protective equipment on as it's recommended, and you need to review the job site specific information so that we're following all OSHA regulations and procedures. In addition, like I just mentioned the PPE, there is a pair of gloves that's provided for the installer. The final piece, other than the actual product itself, is this green bag. This green bag will be used to mix some of the materials that you're going to see here in a moment. It's important that we try not to puncture the bag, and we'll use that for later. The first thing you'll see is the recycled crumb rubber, or EPDM, which is a great resource for us to not only make a quality product, but also divert a lot of things that go to a landfill. You'll see next the polystyrene, which is another component of the material to help make it a lightweight and formable in the matrix that we're going to do. So let's take this material, because there's one other thing in there that I want to talk about and discuss, but we've got to get this into the bag to start. So as I'm getting ready to get this into the bag, I'm going to introduce Dallas, who's going to help me out here. And finally, the last piece or component of the product that you'll see. And also while mixing, which is a key part of the application, Dallas is going to tell you about some of the resources that are available to you on our website and through our distribution partners. See it? We just pulled off the second half, which is that EPS, which is this white styrofoam. When you empty this into the bag itself, you will also find a third component, which is a urethane product that's going to bind all this together. It's already pre-proportioned out, as you can see, and we're going to start opening this. Once I get this open, we have a process where we're going to take a look at the roofing surface, and depending on how dirty or what the roofing system's condition is, we may use a primer. The primer is also the adhesive that binds all this stuff together. So really simple, three parts: the rubber, the styrene, and then finally the urethane. So as I'm getting this can open and beginning to prepare, Dallas is going to talk to you about some of the resources that is available online.
As my partner was saying, all the resources I'm about to show you right now are available on our website, greenslope.com, as well as a lot of other videos, and anything that you can think of is going to be available for you there. One of the things that is going to be available for you is the water ponding repair kit information sheet. It's just a simple little one-pager that kind of gives you the do's and don'ts and the benefits of GreenSlope. Another thing you will find in the website is the data sheet. So all the information on GreenSlope that you would necessarily need. Another awesome resource we have is the 10 key differences between GreenSlope and your typical concrete ponding repair kit. Again, all these resources along with other videos are available on our website, greenslope.com. Check it out.
Thank you, Dallas. So we'll go back to the installation part. We're going to go ahead and use a slight bit of material, less than 10% of what's provided in here, to prime the roofing surface. So this is a Denstech board, which we're using for our demonstration purposes. But what we'll do is we want to measure too, very gently, of this. So this is the size that we have for exactly one bucket. As Dallas just mentioned, on our website, we have additional resources that help you calculate the volume of material, whether it's a bucket or tote, that you would need to perform your job-specific installation. So as I am going to prime the roof surface, I'm going to put a little bit of the material out. That is about, if you look at it, 10%. We don't want to go over that because we're going to need the rest in there. As I'm going to go ahead and prime the roofing surface, Dallas is going to pour the third component into the bag and actually start mixing. So the importance of the mixing is that we want the matrix to have very monolithic ability to disperse all of the material. That is the best application process, as we're going to kind of move the material around in the bag that's provided. If you have a tote, you will need some mixing capabilities, whether it's a paddle mixer or some variety that you may have on the job site.
So as you're mixing it, you just pour it in the bag, close the bag up, leave some room in there because you want to be able to just tumble it, almost like you're mixing dough. You just knead it around. As you're mixing it and kneading it around, you're just spreading and mixing the styrene and recycled rubber components to give it a nice matrix and disperse it evenly.
So the components that we just used as Dallas is mixing this is we've used the urethane that is in the can, less than 10% to prime the roofing surface. The rest of it, the 90%, is going into the matrix to help kind of prepare it and make this ready for the actual application of the sloping material.
As you can see, as I'm just tumbling it and kneading it, you can start to see the styrene and the black evening out in its dispersion. So after you've got it well mixed, you open the bag and you can see the consistency of it. You could also open the bag and then use your hands if you want to spread it even more, to really make sure that you've got an even coating of the urethane on all of the components.
General mixing takes anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes to make sure that you have the urethane evenly dispersed through the styrene and the rubber components.
As you can see, once you're done mixing, it's got that nice kind of shine to it. You can see how it sticks together.
All right, Dallas, let's do a little bit of the application.
Yes.
All right, so Dallas is going to use a trowel, the multitude of materials that you can use out on the job site based on availability. But the idea is that I'm going to apply the material on the primed surface, and Dallas is going to help me distribute evenly the material to create whatever slope or movement or dispersion of the water. This happens to be an exact kind of size of a 5-gallon pail. To give you a representation, it goes from 2 inches down to a minimal taper on the end of the roofing surface, in this case our demo board. So I'm going to pour this out and you can see how the moldability, and Dallas is going to go ahead and work and try to reproduce kind of a consistent wedge as the material. So as you're pouring out the material, don't get ahead of yourself, because you can add more material. The workability of the product is anywhere between 10 to 20 minutes based on the temperature. As Dallas is using a trowel, I recommend a gloved hand, but you can also disperse the material via a glove and work in the material and additionally mixing it to make sure that you don't have any dry components within your sloping material.
And as you get it in position, you want to start compacting it down, pressing it down, so you can push the molecules and the particles together to give it that compressed, tight look.
The bag is great also. It is a moisture cure urethane that bonds the system together, and if you seal it and allow it to not be exposed to air, your workability of the material will be longer. So if you have small ponding areas that you want to complete, walk to the other side of the roof within the next hour or so, you seal the bag up and you can reuse the material in other locations. So the bag is very useful.
As Tom said, you don't want to dump it all out at once. You want to do it in parts.
So you see two methods here, basically using a gloved hand. Dallas happens to be using a trowel.
And if you decide to go the trowel route, a nice little trick to keep the poly from really sticking to the trowel is just to spray a little WD-40 or other lubricant on the trowel that allows it to glide and smooth over without having the poly and the product stick to it in clumps.
Now, as you can see, it is actually the ability to scrape it, to move it, while it still has not cured out. It can be moved and reshaped relatively easy. Dallas, I'll let you continue to work and
Just
compress.
compress it in place. Like I said, once you get it there, you want to start packing it down. So make sure that you get it nice and tight, that everything is pushed together. You just kind of work it in place. As you're pressing it down, it flattens it out. Like Tom said, after you've got it in your general vicinity, you can kind of look and see low spots and high spots. Even though it's compressed down, because it hasn't fully set, you can scrape it and screed the material to where you need it. So yes, I'm using a trowel in my hands here, but if you wanted to, and say you had to build this on a roof, and you had a big designated area, you could take a 2x4 or something and screed it like you would concrete to get it to where you need it. But as you can see, we're 2 inches thick here, all the way down to nothing. Once you've got it pressed into place, compact it down, you are done until it cures.
Thank you, Dallas. So this curing process of the material, like I said, depending on the weather conditions, it can be workable from anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes. Curing process will directly start once it's exposed to the environment and moisture. So what we would recommend is, once this has had a chance, you want to come back and apply either additional coatings and or membranes to this. And once that surface has had enough time to congeal and cure, that's when those applications of the material may happen. At different depths and thicknesses, it may take a little bit longer than that surface to cure out, but once that a brush can go across it without bringing up the material itself, which is typically anywhere between 20 to 40 minutes based on the environmental conditions, that's when a coating can be applied. So same-day coatings can be done based on humidity, of course, and environmental conditions. Full cure typically can be anywhere from 12 to 24 hours based on the intensity or thickness of the ponding water material that you're producing.
While our demonstration's curing up, I want to show you a few samples that have cured up. We have our business card sample here, which you can can see it's cured, it's holding its shape. The little brownie, you can see the flexibility in it. The larger sample right here shows the slopeability of the product, and not being secured to substrate, you can really see the flexibility that the product offers, which is awesome. And it still holds its shape. You know, the flexibility is great when it comes to the freeze-thaw cycles as well as movement of buildings, that you know it's not going to crack or have other issues that you're going to have to come back and fix.
So how flexible is it, Dallas? Can it take impact?
It can definitely take impact.
A lot of impact?
I think a heck of a lot of impact.
A lot of impact.
A lot of impact.
Just where it's thick though,
Just-
right? Where
I
else?
think just where it's thick, but how about where we have it feathered down the middle? I don't see any cracks. I don't see any breaks, nothing.
So what you'll see there is actually the board actually deteriorated before the material, and you can see still that flexibility and that resiliency of that material at a very, very thin application.
Yes.
So as you can see, the flexibility is important, but also the impact resistance on our roofing systems. In addition to this cured sample, we have a coating here.
We do.
It is recommended that you put some type of substrate on top, i.e. it is a closed matrix system when it's completed. However, we do like to see a coating or membrane go over top for water and UV resistance. This can be either the membrane that is on the roofing system or typically a traditional coating that you can use either to match the material. This happens to be a white acrylic to give you an example of coverage. So please work with your technical team and your sales folks to make sure that the coating is compatible, as we have a wide variety of manufacturers that are compatible with the GreenSlope material. Please visit us on our website at greenslope.com. On there you'll find additional resources, including this video. We hope you enjoyed, and we hope this product helps you eliminate any of the ponding water and provides a great solution for your buildings. Thanks.
Thank you.